So I think one of the reasons why, maybe Method Orange has been struggling this year is it can be difficult. I mean, they just came off a really big win.
I think our counterparts, Method Orange, I think the biggest struggle is just that ever since they won, they got kind of complacent. You don't have to try so hard anymore.
I don't think they can outmuscle anyone at this stage anymore. So they're either the more creative team or they're bottom of the barrel, sorry to say.
If they're on an even playing ground with every other team, I don't think they're going to excel.
I don't know why, but they're just not working together right now.
It would definitely suck to not get to BlizzCon. I think it's something that it's what we play for as players. I think everyone here, I think 5 of the 8 teams here are going to go to BlizzCon. For those 3 guys that missed out, it's going to suck for sure. We will play for this.
This is still a team that's very serious. They're committed to each other, and they really do want to go for that second win.
We would love to get back to BlizzCon this year, but quite frankly, we've been having a really rough year. We know it, the fans know it, everyone that's watching knows it. We just haven't hit our stride yet. We're missing something, and hopefully we can find it this weekend.
For the reigning champions to not make it to BlizzCon, it definitely does show that we have a very, very interesting phenomena going on. But and this is no flame at all, right? But you go back to that BlizzCon Grand Final and you look at the 2 teams that were in it. There's definitely a big change right now this year, right? And for you guys who were also in that final, what is it? Is it just a giant meta change where both teams aren't really able to kind of perform at the level that we expect them to, or is it something else underneath the surface?
It honestly is the meta change, but also I feel like they just couldn't really get a grasp of the meta themselves. I mean, the boys are playing the same exact comps. And actually the boys are kind of in the same situation as them to an extent. I mean, they qualified for BlizzCon, but as you can see right now, they're struggling. I think that they had the comps early on because the cleaves are stronger, but now that everyone's playing Frost Mage X, especially Rogue Mage, the melee cleaves just aren't working. They can't really get that hold of their BlizzCon qualifications, I guess.
Now, when we're this late in an expansion, what do you think the most important thing is for a team to have, Pika? Do you think it is having players who are completely skill capped on classes, or do you think it is having a wide array of tools in your arsenal?
I think at this stage in the game where it's kind of towards the end of the year and the changes are going to be very minimal at this point, I really think being extremely solid at maybe 1 to just a few different compositions is going to be way better than trying to throw out a whole bunch of different stuff that you don't really play that much. Because right now, this is kind of when this is it. This is the best of the best. This is the highest quality gameplay you're going to get out of teams.
And look at what Blizzard was able to do, right? I mean, we were not talking about Warrior as something that is strong at all. The only time I hear the word Warrior is not really in Arena right now, but he gets on that class and he looks fantastic. Now, as much as we talk about struggles that can be happening on the side of Method Orange, it's going to be a completely different story when we talk about Method Black Fan. I mean, these guys just win absolutely everything that they've looked at recently.
Yeah, but sometimes when they get in these situations, they overthink it and they lock in the wrong compositions. I mean, when they're playing the Rogue Mage Druid, they look phenomenal. Quite frankly, they look better than every other Rogue Mage Druid, but we've seen them pick weird compositions. I really want to see them stick to their guns. If they don't, I think it could be a struggle for them. I think they're certainly in a position right now where they are able to win this entire thing, I mean, quite easily. In mirrors, it seems like they're really dominant, and the Rogue Mage just seems like it's good against everything if you play it at that top tier level. So for Method Black, this is their tournament to win, but Method Orange is going to be looking to stand in their way, and we'll have to see if they do lock in that Frost Death Knight and how well it really does play.
Yeah, and I mean, when you look at Method Black as well, I gave Pika that idea of what do you think is more important. It's funny because a lot of the times when we look at Method Black, it feels like they do have both sides of that equation. A lot of the time they're going to have something that's completely skill capped, and they're going to have options as well, and it does make them a force to be reckoned with. It gives them a lot of unpredictability time and time again. And when we look on the side of Method Orange, I feel like we're pretty sure what they're going to play. We expect Mez to actually come in here on the DK, and we're going to find out right now as we jump down into the blind pick if that is going to be the case. And that is definitely not what I expected on the side of Method Black.
This is okay.
This is what I actually expected. I've heard that this is what they play to beat every DK comp, but they can somehow also pull wins off of the mage teams.
Okay, well let's see it. And then, Jelly, you're going to have the interesting job of breaking down exactly why that could happen. We got Method Black, first Method Orange. The gates are now open.
Yeah, Trill will most likely be the main target here for Method Black. Keep in mind, I mean, an Assassination Rogue is really good at shutting down a target, especially a Windwalker Monk. You keep him caught in a kidney shot, you have the extra burst from the Frost Death Knight. It's going to be scary as well. Chaz is going to be able to use the Blessing of Protection as well as the Divine Shield to remove the Touch of Karma. So Trill has to be very careful in this situation. Sea-Doo in early crowd control. Trill already low, landing the triple leg sweep, but he's still low. Trades out the Touch of Karma. Blessing of Protection comes in, and now it's Trill crossing the map. He's trying to hightail it out of there. Back on top of Sea-Doo. Ring of Peace drops down, but Trill's not out of it. We might have to see the Spirit Link Totem come in from Sea-Doo. Ascendance does get popped. Fortifying Brew, that was every single defensive cooldown from Trill in order to survive, and he's still just getting lower and lower.
This is such a great opener from the team of Method Black here. They have all their offensive cooldowns still available. Trill used everything there. This is the only cooldowns left are a Trinket Spirit Link from Sea-Doo here, and the fact that they were that close to killing him that early on, they're instantly put on the back foot here, and I really would like to see the pressure still running on a Trill here.
Yeah, Swapsy, though, he's getting low. Grapple Weapon is going to deny the Death Strikes. Wind Shear over onto Chaz. Swapsy getting low. Method Orange could be claiming first blood here. The Ultimate Sacrifice will shut it down, but there was great pressure here for Method Orange. Another full kidney shot onto Trill. Sea-Doo caught into a blind. He trinkets out. Is there any more follow-up crowd control? He's just bombing heals right now onto Trill in order to keep him alive, but there's no defensives left. He's still getting low. He's not getting topped off. Shadow Step kick coming in from Waz. Trill on the run. He's trying to hightail it out of there. Does he have the Fist of Fury parry? It looks like he is going to stabilize, and now it's Method Orange's turn to strike back.
Full Hodge onto Sea-Doo here. They're swapping onto the Shaman. This is a great choice. Now all three members of Method Orange under so much pressure now. Great blind by Mez. Triple blind there. Triple leg sweep. Method Orange turning it around here with lots of bursts coming from Trill. Instantly capstunned off of that. Hex coming out from Sea-Doo onto Chaz. Very well done. Instantly turning the pressure here. Swapsy using that IVF. Swapsy's now added defensive cooldowns, and this is an opening for Method Orange now.
It certainly is. I mean, Trill and Mez putting out big damage on that Windwalker Death Knight. Sea-Doo, a little bit of a vulnerable target here. He's trying to escape with that Ghost Wolf. If he can get behind the pillar, it's likely he is going to survive. Waz, around 40% health. He gets topped off. Chaz on that Paladin is actually going to have a mana advantage over Sea-Doo, and that could play into the favor of Method Black. They can win early game with an all-in on Trill, but it looks like this composition is also just very durable. They've been able to heal through the damage Method Orange has been able to put out. And now it looks like it's time for Waz to get aggressive. Full kidney shot onto Sea-Doo. Do they have the damage to take him down? He's in Ghost Wolf, and I think he should be able to hold on with that.
Trill and Sea-Doo doing a great job managing these defensive cooldowns. It's very easy to panic when there's a lot of damage going out, but these people are just veterans, so we don't expect to see that. Instantly swapping back to Trill here. Trill in a lot of trouble. Touch of Karma uses there. A bop available from the Paladin. Double blind from Chaz. Beautiful there onto Sea-Doo and Mez. Mez shrinking out of that, trying to help his teammate there. Trill, great portal there. Great positioning. Gonna dispel that wound poison. This could be it right here.
There it is. Full kidney shot. Trill behind the pillar. Spirit Link Totem drops down by Sea-Doo from downtown. That keeps Trill and Mez alive. Beautiful setup here, and now it's Waz in a lot of trouble. He's caught into a stun. Evasion trades out. The Capacitor Totem from Sea-Doo allows him to get a little bit more damage. Rolling Trill now with the Fortifying Brew. Still, it's time for him to survive. Battlemaster Trinket trades out also. Flying Serpent Kick. Trill just trying to kite around, trying to avoid damage. Mez backing him up with the Chains of Ice and the Death Grip onto Waz. Grapple Weapon now onto Waz, but still it's Sea-Doo. He has to play catch-up, but there's really not too many tools left for him.
Sea-Doo doing a great job stabilizing the team there. Hex coming on to Chaz, sacks it, beautifully done by him. Melee Wings is now gone from Chaz, so Trill and Mez can really get a lot of pressure going here. This is where they look to turn the game around. Kidney shot onto Trill, Touch of Death available from Trill, still having that Trinket. Lots of defensive cooldowns available from Mez as well. I think Method Orange did a great job recovering, and I think they're actually kind of in the lead right now.
Yeah, they're doing a good job. Trill, if he can just hold on a little bit longer, he still has his Trinket. Touch of Karma coming up in around 50 seconds. Sea-Doo, though, with no Spirit Link Totem, there's no emergency heals for his team, whereas for Chaz, he still has the Divine Shield to get out of crowd control. Both teams are relatively healthy. They have both offensive and defensive tools. Now, Trill in a kidney shot, Hammer of Justice on Sea-Doo. Is this the damage that they need? Trill, he didn't Trinket out of it. That could be a big mistake. Diffuse Magic comes in. Triple setup once again from Mez, from Trill. Do they have the leg sweep? Unfortunately, unable to find it, but Waz and Swapsy going to be taking massive damage. This is the Touch of Death. Wazzy's going to have to use that feint at the last second, but he's caught into a leg sweep. Big burst damage incoming here for Method Orange, but that feint should easily deny it. And now Method Black, they're looking to get a setup of their own.
Man, I really would have liked to see the cooldowns be used a bit better there. Waz did commit that Vendetta, and Method Orange lived through it. And then Trill also using that Touch of Death without CC on Chaz. And that might cost him here. Sidu caught in a swap here. Beautiful Ring of Peace by Trill there, denying the kill attempt here. Sidu still in a lot of trouble, pressing that Ascendance. Good kick on a Chaz there. Sidu doing everything he can to get away here. Potentially pushing him for the Haymaker, maybe a Hex off that. Hex onto Chaz. Ooh, kicked on it. Melee Wings is up here. This is a lot of trouble for Method Orange. They really need to get out of here and stabilize, because there's no way anything is dying when Chaz has this many cooldowns up.
Yeah, that was Sidu's Ascendance, and he wasn't able to top off his team. Now getting Grip back into the fight. If he gets caught into a kidney shot, he could easily fall. His Astral Shift buys him a little bit of time, but he's still just so low. All three members of Method Black pushing in. Gladiator safeguard procs. Can Sidu survive? Mez grips Waz away, but with Cloak of Shadow, he's able to reconnect, and Method Black claim game number 1.
Very interesting start to this series. I think you just look at that initial pressure on Trill and you start thinking about, okay, what does this DK Rogue composition actually bring? Now, Jelly, you said that you actually heard about this. You expected to potentially see it. Why? What is so good about this composition?
Being able to stun the Monk consistently with Kidney Shot and having a Frost Death Knight stay on him the entire time, it's so hard to get away, especially as a Monk in comps like that. And also, really smart move for Chaz picking the Paladin. Paladin excels in the cleave mirrors, and Shamans don't. Shamans are better against mages. I think Method Orange expected them to play the mage because they picked Frost Death Knight and Shaman, and they won the blind pick.
Now, when you start to think about the entire series as well, I feel like for Method Orange, their best case is getting to play this composition as much as possible, and it does seem like Method Black has the answer. When I'm starting to look at these two teams right now, though, they both kind of look strong for the entire field of play. You don't want to drop down to the lower bracket early, especially if you're Method Orange, who needs to secure that BlizzCon spot. Method Black definitely has a lot less pressure on them, but are we starting to see already that, okay, DKs are the real deal?
I think that game was that really came down to the blind pick there. I really think Method Black had an incredible pick. That is the best possible pick they could have had there. They had the Paladin to use the Blessing of Protection on the Touch of Karma from Trill, which allows them to run in and keep the pressure going, and also just the melee wings, just instantly able to out heal all three targets damage, and not only that, but keep his team offensive while doing that, and he's doing a lot of damage as well. So Death Knights right now I think are looking good, but I think that was just kind of a rough pick for Method Orange on the blind pick there.
Yeah, well, also on the other end, just a really intelligent pick on the side of Method Black. But how do you expect to see things potentially change, Jelly?
Sidu swaps and Paladin, they win that every single time, I think. I think if they have the same healer in the same scenario, not playing a Shaman and not getting caught off guard like that, Shamans have a really hard time healing the cleaves. I mean, Absurge dies the cleaves every single day, tweets about it, complains about it. I mean, he hates melee cleaves as a Shaman, so I mean, he has to swap to the Paladin, I think.
You think Paladin's the answer here?
It definitely could be. I feel like we might see a completely different composition come in from Method Orange. We know they have Samayam on the bench, and a Frost Mage is really good into these cleave setups, and one of the things they've implemented quite a bit is that Paladin Frost Mage Windwalker Monk. Do they have it practiced and prepared for this tournament? I certainly hope so, because I think that composition in particular would be really strong into what Method Black is running.
Still, though, you're already in a situation now because of the strength of that blind pick that you need to, at least 1 point, if you are Method Orange, win with a disadvantage. And that is not going to be an easy task against one of the most dominant teams in the world right now. I mean, to be completely honest, I can't really think of a roster that's had as many wins in seasonal play leading up to a BlizzCon than this team. And they've just had incredible runs throughout the entirety of it. Let's see now what Method Orange is going to be able to do as they lock in the map, actually get to see what Method Black picks, and then pick their composition, Pika.
Yeah, no, I'm honestly very impressed that Method Black was able to pull out a comp like that, because most people know them as just the mage rogue players, but to be able to blind pick into a team like Method Orange, BlizzCon champions, they're always just playing cleaves as well, so it's always kind of a risky matchup because the damage is so quick back and forth like we saw, and to be able to pull out a win like that, especially in the first game, really setting the pace in the series, I think is very impressive. I'm excited to see what happens now.
What I want to know too is that not many teams have forced Method Black to get off of the Rogue Mage. So the fact that Method Orange was able to do that, they have to be doing pretty well in the War Games, and I actually think they could win this series if they could turn it around and not tilt.
Yeah, I think we see just so much here. It goes back to one of the big ideas that we were talking about the idea, what is more valuable, having something that you're incredibly well rehearsed on or going wide, and it just shows how strong Method Black is because they look skill capped on everything that they touch right now. They are a force to be reckoned with, but it also does show that strength of Method Orange. Yeah, you're willing to cleave against them maybe, But at the end of the day, you did move away from your favorite composition. You are at least respecting what Method Orange is able to do. And look what we actually do see here. It is going to be Sam I Am coming in, and we are going to see Sea-Doo on the Paladin going into that composition that they just went up against. So when we look at Method Orange on this comp, Jelly, what's their win condition? How do they actually find that victory against Method Black?
They could get the leg sweep and the Hodge at the same time and try to force pressure, but I think when you play Frost Mage compositions, the biggest mistake, and I know that from personal experience, is to push in early before dampening or early in the game. You lose very early that way. And also another win condition is just the fact that in dampening, I feel like they should win this matchup.
Why do they pick Dollar and Sewers here as well? Why are we on the tight map when we have something like a Frost Mage, Pika?
It might be easier because they're probably looking for Sea-Doo to get that Hodge and Sam I Am to follow up with that Polymorph. And on a smaller map, there's less places for the enemy hero to actually run away and kite that. So which means less time Sea-Doo has to spend running around, you know, putting his team in danger because he's not casting those heals, trying to get the CC for his team. And I think that's probably the main reason.
All right, a lot of things to think about here. I think we're going to get a much better idea of the series after seeing this one. It's going to be very tough to actually come back and have a reverse sweep. If you are Method Orange, you kind of need to pull this one down. And Ven, I feel like they're already kind of moving in the direction that everybody on the desk was alluding to. And they're also starting to show some real diversity in their compositions as well for a team that I think some expected to be relatively flat in this current meta.
I mean, both these teams have a lot of diversity. Method Black coming in with a cleave setup. I don't think many people were expecting that. We heard rumors from some of the war games and practice that they had put in, but I mean, they had just been completely dominating the entire summer season as the Rogue Mage Druid, and they're going to be locking in a cleave setup with Swapsy in their game number 1 of this tournament. It's completely unexpected for Method Orange. Of course, being able to default lock in the Windwalker Death Knight Resto Shaman, that's kind of a comfort pick for them. Mez and Trill, they've been playing Windwalker Death Knight for a long time. Sea-Doo as well. Now, when they need him, Sam I Am available to come in for this team and try to take down this cleave setup Method Black has locked in. But we'll have to see what they can get done. This is still a really scary composition. The Frost Death Knight, of course, is going to be very limiting to the mobility of the Frost Mage, and that's why I think this could still throw Method Orange for a little bit of a loop.
Yam is the closer. You know, a lot of the time in the season, you're not really seeing him play. You know, Mez, Trill, they're able to get the work done. But then you get close to BlizzCon, all of a sudden he comes off the bench and he sends people to the Shadow Realm. Is he going to be able to do it here? Method Black already going to have 1 win in their back pocket. Method Orange trying to tie it all up here, 1-1. Will they be able to do it?
All right, the gates are officially open now. Sammy, I'm in Invis right now, looking to position himself around Chaz to potentially get that early polymorph. Sap onto Trill by Waz, cheap shot onto Sea-Doo. Looks like Yam will be the target of choice for Method Black here. Blind onto Sea-Doo, good bot by him. Kinney shot onto Yam here. Looks like a lot of pressure going on to Yam here. And right now, Method Orange is currently on the back foot, waiting until they get that Hodge opportunity for Yam to get that crowd control so they can start getting pressure out.
Yeah, it's like Jellybeans kind of talked about. For the Frost Mage, it's about playing very defensive. Don't waste those shimmers, especially when you have Delirium on you the entire game. Those shimmers are going to be a really long cooldown. You can't really afford to push in and get much crowd control out. Sam I Am right now with the Icy Veins. He's getting aggressive. Chaz caught into a blinding light. Is there any follow-up? There is. There's a full polymorph. Now Swapsy and Waz, they're in a little bit of trouble. There is big damage here for Method Orange.
Yeah, both targets on Method Black are dying here. Both DPS seem to be in trouble here. Yam doing a great job kiting this out, and Trill as well, lining up those multiple double stuns, double blinds. Great polymorph by Yam as well, following that up. Right now, Yam caught into a kidney shot here. Waz and Swapsy stabilizing here, making sure to land those kicks and lock the mage down, because if they're not landing kicks, things can get out of hand very quickly here, but they're doing a great job shutting it down. And if we look at Chaz right now, he's standing very far away, denying the Hodge from Sea-Doo, because Sea-Doo was constantly inching his way towards him to guarantee that CC. Chaz pushing in, got instantly dispelled in CC. Trill doing a lot of damage to Waz here. Both targets very, very low. Sack used by Chaz there. That's a big cooldown forced.
Yeah, big cooldowns forced out. Both these teams playing a little bit defensive right now. Full kidney shot onto Sam I Am. Both Waz and Swapsy looking to get really aggressive, but Trill on that Windwalker Monk able to back him up with not only the Tiger's Lust, but as well that Ring of Peace. So when Sam I Am is caught into a stun, he can use the Ring of Peace to deny Swapsy and Waz to getting full damage out. Trill now getting big damage with the Fist of Fury, and that's the thing. If they go after Sam I Am, Windwalker Monks have a lot of cleave damage available at their disposal. Luckily for Chaz, the Holy Paladin can deal with that quite well. They have massive heals when their cooldowns are up. Waz getting a little bit low, but still with the feint, with the evasion, with the Cloak of Shadows, he's going to be completely fine.
Beautiful CS by Yam there onto Chaz, forcing Waz defensive here. And it's kind of brutal for Waz to try to chase Yam the entire time because Trill is just punching into him the entire time. Beautiful double sweep by Trill there, and the in-cap Hodge onto Chaz as well. Very well done by them. Into a blind onto Chaz. Wasn't so much trouble having used that cloak. He really wants to hold that evasion. That's the most important cooldown. Counter pressure back onto Yam here. Casting crossbows. Full kidney here. Sidu pressing that melee wings. He should be able to top his team up here. Trying to keep the goal going. Beautiful haymaker onto Waz, knocking him out of the line of sight of Chaz. And they're currently in a lot of trouble. Nice kick onto that sheep there. Currently, the cooldowns are counteracting the damage right now.
Yeah, and it looks like Swapsy and Waz, they are going to be able to stabilize. Sam I am completely out of mana, so he's not going to be able to use those spell steals to remove the Blessing of Freedom if they decide to use it. Sidu tossing out a Blessing of Protection, but now not having that available for Sam I am. Avenging Wrath gets popped out. What are they going to be able to do? Where's the damage? Where's the crowd control on Chaz? And I'm not actually sure who wins this in the late game. You would think Sam I am and Trill with the Frostmage Windwalker Monk would have a lot of consistent pressure on Swapsy onto Waz, but it seems like Method Black, they're able to hold on, and they're actually getting a lot of damage rolling onto Sam.
Yeah, the comp of Method Orange here is heavily reliant on Yam getting those polymorphs onto the healer, but right now Sidu caught into that blind. Yam taking a lot of damage. Full CS onto Chaz, trying to turn the pressure on Waz here, forcing out that feint. He still has that evasion. Beautiful Hodge by Sidu onto Chaz. They're keeping the CC chain rolling. Yam trying to get more sheeps to follow up. Waz haven't used that Vanish defensively. Waz very far from his healer right now. Beautiful Shadow Step getting back to his healer's line. Ray of Frost coming out from Yam. In-cap onto Chaz. Lots of damage here. Evasion has been forced. He's so low. Maldish are flying in right now. Smoke bomb defensively. Bubble force from Chaz and the sack. That was every single button from that team.
That was really nicely done by Method Orange. Now suddenly it's Method Black on the back foot. There was no defensive cooldowns left whatsoever. Chaz playing Relentless. He doesn't have the Gladiator's Medallion. He gets locked out. Now this is where we could see Method Orange start really developing some pressure. Sidu should be able to keep his team alive with the Avenging Crusader. What can he get done? We'll have to see. Chaz still in a prime position to avoid crowd control. Keep Swapsy and Waz quite healthy. Sam I am getting topped off, but in terms of mana, Method Black, they still have the lead. That was a close call on Waz, trading out basically every defensive cooldown, so he's going to have to play a little bit scared in this situation, but if Method Black can hold on, they can keep up this consistent damage. I could see them winning this game.
Yeah, Waz deciding to swap to Sidu with that full kidney on him, forcing out that human trinket out of Sidu. Sidu's using wings and sack here. It seems like Sidu might be a target of choice later in the game. He's running low on mana, he's running low on cooldowns, and if his teammates aren't there to peel for him, he can't last much longer like this. Sidu still under a lot of pressure. You're stuck in the middle of the map right now. They're finally going back onto Yam here because if you leave the mage free casting for too long in a composition like this, especially Yam, your whole team is going to get crowd controlled. Beautiful CS onto Chaz, double leg sweep onto Swapsy and Waz there. Counter pressure, Sidu pushing in for that Hodge off of the in cap there. Got it full. Bob's Fuse wings is out from Chaz here. Lots of crowd control. Full kidney shot onto Yam on his veins here. This is their offensive go here. They need to make this count. They need more cooldowns here. And then Method Black potentially forcing the ice block onto Yam here. Sidu trying to do everything he can to keep him alive here, holding that most important cooldown for Yam to keep him aggressive.
Yeah, Sam Am still has both of his ice blocks. He's got a lot of defensive cooldowns left to work with, but it could be a story of Sidu just going out of mana. That could ultimately be the win condition here for Method Black. Full kitty shot lands. Sam I am using every man for himself to break that stun. Waz in some trouble. He's got the Cloak of Shadows in the evasion. Is he gonna, or the Vanish, is he gonna be able to get it off? Right now, Ring of Peace knocks him off the side of the edge, and now Chaz not able to actually connect into heals. Beautiful Shadow Step by Waz, getting back in line of sight of Chaz, but the full polymorph lands from Sam I am. Trill, Storm, Earth, and Fire. Big pressure here onto Waz. He still has the defensive cooldowns he needs to survive, and Chaz with the ultimate sacrifice is keeping him alive, and now it's up to Swapsy and Waz. Keep tunneling down Sam I am. Keep the aggressive pressure up. Sidu caught into a full blinding light. Sam getting a little bit low. This could easily be the first ice block.
Lots of pressure from Method Black. Please, ooh, good block by Yam there. Waz honestly decided to use the kidney shot on Sidu there. I really don't agree with that. I think they really need to tunnel the mage down now that they forced that ice block out. They need to do everything they can to make sure that this guy has no chance to go aggressive here. Cooldowns have been traded out everywhere. Method Black really with not much left as the wings are up. It's good that the evasion is back for Waz. That's going to mean he's going to play as aggressive as possible because it's basically like a completely safe button versus the monk. Beautiful double leg sweep from Trill there and the blind from Sidu onto Chaz there. Grip back in on Yam. This is looking really scary right now for Method Black with this if the CC chain keeps rolling.
Waz behind the pillar, playing defensive when he needs to, with great positioning. Sidu, his mana still doing quite poorly. He's in a full kidney or full Hammer of Justice. Ring of Peace once again, nicely done by Trill, always being able to back up his team with that cooldown, but a kidney shot. Sidu in so much trouble. He's got the Avenging Crusader rolling. Doesn't really have much mana left, and he's not able to top himself off. The damage from Swapsy and Waz is just so heavy. Sea-Doo finally connecting a big heal. He's able to stabilize just a little bit. You can't leave Sam-I-Am alone for too long, though. This is a risky strategy coming in from Method Black.
Vendetta committed from Wads. They're going all in right now on Sea-Doo. He needs to get out of here. Freedom mount away. Beautifully done by him. Sam-I-Am sheeping everything in the entire world. Swaps using that Wraith Walk to get there with no slows. Sea-Doo needs to fake kicks right now. Beautiful Aura Mastery there. Trill's right there to help him. Sea-Doo needs to get out of here immediately. Full kitty on the Sea-Doo. There's so much damage. So much damage from all three people connecting. Maldics are flying in. I don't know how he's going to get out of this one.
I really don't know. I don't think he will. Trying to line of sight, trying to connect the heals. Can he find it? Waz snipes him, and that's going to be 2-0 up for Method Black. And the European teams have not lost a game yet. It's looking like another potential 3-0 here.
Very true. I mean, in the early portions of this game, you really start looking at the composition that Method Orange has been bringing, and it's like, wait, this can actually do it. It's looking really good. But then by the end of the game, they're completely shutting down Sea-Doo. He can't even get away. He's not able to get himself top. And then on top of that, he's out of gas in the tank to even get those heals in the first place. How is Method Black able to turn the tables there, Jelly?
I mean, that matchup didn't really seem too favorable for Method Orange, to be honest. I mean, there was a point where he, I believe, defensive smoke bomb, had to use evasion trinket, they even bubble sack, they used a bunch of cooldowns and overlap. But after that, they were fine the entire game. And it seems like Method Orange, after seeing that swap on a Sea-Doo at the end of the game, it seems like all three targets are viable for Method Black. It feels like they can kill all three. They can bop the Karma, they can stay on Yam, because obviously they were winning that way too. In the end, they ended up just randomly killing Sea-Doo.
You know, when you do look at the Frost Mage as well into this composition, I think when we look on that Death Knight Rogue composition, there were a lot of questions, right? And one of the first things that Jelly did say is it can take down some Mage compositions, and when we see it here on this small map, it looks like it does have a lot of game against them. Do you think that Method Black is safe to just lock this in for the rest of the series?
I see no reason why they would want to change their composition now. It seems like it's very brutal for Sam-I-Am to ever try to push him for these polymorphs, because he's got to deal with the Frost Death Knight and the Rogue doing so much damage to him, and that's why they were able to also swap to Sea-Doo, because Sea-Doo has to push in to help Yam get the CC. If Sea-Doo is not there to get the stun blinds, then there's nothing for Sam-I-Am to ever land those sheeps off of. And I think without that crowd control, they're going to fall behind very quickly. So it's going to be a really fast-paced matchup, and it seems like for them to actually win that, they're going to have to play really, really well.
It definitely seems like this composition isn't just going to all of a sudden hard counter what we've already seen Method Black bring, but Method Orange needs to figure out something quick, or like Fenrique said, we are going to see EU go on an absolute tear when we return.
Heading into this tournament, the team that's got us the most on the feet are definitely Method Orange. Like, they're really, really good individual players, and they have some scary comps. So I think if we turn them down and we win them, I definitely think we're going to have a much easier road.
You know, when you actually look at today and you say, okay, how's North America been performing here today? I think the only thing that North America has done well is cast.
Well, I mean, Adrian did a pretty good job too, I think.
Yeah, I'm just saying, you know, objectively,
they're even good at that.
EU's having a fine day. They're doing everything well. You know, we got a full North American desk for the first time I can remember in a very long time, and we're definitely not dropping the ball there. But when it comes to the World of Warcraft, North America definitely having a very tough tournament. We may see another 3-0 coming out in favor of EU. And also, let's talk about the compositions a little bit, because Jelly, you said some very 200 IQ stuff during the break. You were kind of talking about the dichotomy, a little bit of dissonance between having a Frost Mage and a Pally based off of where they like to win.
Okay, there's a reason why you never see that combination of Frost Mage and Paladin. Paladins go for fast games, which is why Mew Mew Kitty Cats are #1 seed. They play Fire Mage, Holy Paladin, both very fast classes. Frost Mages do the opposite. When you put them together, like our team did that mistake in the early summer season. Frost Mages and Holy Paladins don't go together well, because Mages want to get to Dam. Paladins can't do that. You have to go for drinks. You get stopped in your drinks easily. You don't have cooldowns or mana efficient. It doesn't go together well.
I think that's a very important thing to keep in mind, especially when we head into this next game, because we are going to see Sea-Doo on that Paladin yet again, Sam-I-Am on that Mage yet again. Where are they going to find a win condition? The beginning of that second game looked quite good, but it quickly slipped out of their hands. Will Method Black be able to turn this into a 3-0?
I mean, we'll definitely have to see. It's looking good for Method Black so far in this matchup. Method Orange, they're going to have to try to figure something out. This is a composition we've seen them run before into Cleve setups, and it looked a lot better than what we saw in the last game. But Waz, Swapsy, and Chaz, they're looking bulletproof. I mean, there was moments in the game where Waz looked like he was in a little bit of trouble, but when he's in that situation, he doesn't have defensive cooldowns. He just plays a lot more safe, and you can tell Method Black, they have the practice. They know when they're vulnerable. They know when they can play aggressive, and it's just been working out great for them so far.
Method Black having a strong start to this game with the grip triple this rate from the Death Knight, countered by Trill with a nice double leg sweep there. Sidu still looking for that crowd control on Chaz potentially here. Swapsy under a lot of pressure right now. Yam doing a great job cutting away from this. Polymorph is being casted here. Maldics are being used from the team of Method Black, but they're chasing very far away from Chaz. I think this might cost them here.
Yeah, Sam I Am in a growth silence. Could this be the ice block? It will be the Gladiator's safeguard. Sidu trading out, busting a protection, and ultimate sacrifice. So a lot of defensive cooldowns from Method Orange already used, and where's the damage? Swapsy's fine, Waz completely fine, and it's still Sam I Am in the back foot. Full repentance lands by Chaz onto Sidu. He's in crowd control. Sam I Am has to keep himself alive. Is Ice Barrier going to be enough? He has to be very careful right now. Tiger's Lust coming in from Trill. Good backup from Trill in order to keep Sam alive, but this pressure is just unrelenting.
Good hodge by Sidu on the Chaz, trying to turn this around. Beautiful follow-up by Sam. Swapsy under a lot of pressure with no AMS available here. This is where they need to get cooldowns. Touch of Death used by Trill. Triple blind from Sidu, beautifully done by him. Chaz forced a bubble there and counter blinding triple blind, but they're not getting any pressure with this, and that's a very big cooldown. Yam using that Veins there, that was a great push there, and I think that's actually restabilizing them.
Yeah, it looks like Swapsy will be able to survive, but off the back of Chaz's major crowd control break, he is playing Relentless, so he doesn't have the Gladiator's Medallion to get out of crowd control. If Sam I Am can land a full Polymorph, they might be able to take Swapsy down on a big burst attempt, but we have yet to see that so far. Sam I Am, spell stealing off the Blessing of Freedom. That's one of the great things about the Frost Mages. The Blessing of Freedom is really going to help him escape that Frost Death Knight, because with the Delirium, with the Heartstop Aura, Sam I Am is basically a sitting duck. Shimmer is just way too long of a cooldown to really rely on. So those Blessing of Freedoms he can get from Sidu and steal from Chaz are going to be really important. But now, Sam getting bursted down, Temporal Shield is rolling, and that should be enough to keep him alive with a nice double leg sweep coming in from Trill. Method Orange, hold on.
Swapsy had a beautiful steal on that Polymorph there, forcing Sidu into that, and a Spoke Bomb from Waz, but instantly turned around here. Damage coming into Swapsy here. Chaz out of crowd control right now. Beautiful dispel on that Sheep onto Waz. Kidney shot on a Trill. Maybe are they switching targets here? I guess they're going to go on to Trill here. Full rep on a Sidu again. This is actually a lot of trouble for Trill. He might have to be careful here. It looks like they went, full CS from Yam. They're locked out now. Swapsy's still under a lot of pressure. Sidu with that melee wings available right now, potentially pushing in to look for that Hodge onto Chaz here. Swapsy kiting back, realizes the danger he's in right now and trying to restabilize.
Yeah, he's going to be using that pillar to just avoid the damage, and that's the problem for Sam I Am. At a certain point, they have to push in. If Method Black, every time they're in trouble, they're just able to run away, hide behind the pillar, completely uncontested, then for Method Orange, what really is their win condition? Sam I Am snipes another counterspell. Waz in some trouble. The evasion, as well as the feint, will keep him alive. Blinding Light, Sidu playing very aggressive. Method Orange looks to have found a little bit of their rhythm in this match. Paralysis on Chaz, the crowd control never ending here for Method Orange. And now at this point, Chaz, he has to play catch up. Waz and Swapsy both low. Does he have the healing? I think he just might with that Avenging Wrath. Big heals incoming for Chaz, and Sam I Am in the meantime forced into that first ice block off the back of a really nice sap by Waz.
Beautiful blind sap from Waz there, forcing out the block from Yam. Swapsy with no defensive cooldowns remaining. I'm kind of scared of that. I think they want to try to all-in Sidu here with the swap. The Garrote Chiefs out there, double legacy from Trill, beautifully done by him. Swapsy Trinket kiting away, nice hodge from Sidu. Sam I Am looking for that follow-up sheep, but he is nowhere near there. And now Sam I Am is kind of stuck in the back here with Waz, and Waz is just full kidney on him. Lots of pressure. Sidu doing a great job there, instantly able to top him up. Melee Wings proc there as well, stabilizing his team, and eventually looking to maybe set up a kill on Waz here, because right now Swapsy and Chaz are just sitting 50 yards away right now, and it's impossible to get setups when they're just playing defensive like that. It seems like when things kind of get bad for Method Black, they really just decide, like, okay, we got to sit back, go to the pillar, and not force things, because there's no need to.
Yeah, I mean, it worked for them in the last game. It's working for them so far in this game. And if you basically put yourself in a situation where you can never die, that's the best spot to be in, really, especially for the Cleve team to just have so much consistent damage. Sam I Am, Trill, they're getting low. Sam I Am as well. He has one ice block left. If they force it out, this is going to be disastrous for Method Orange. But Sidu's got a lot of defensive cooldowns he can work with. His mana management has honestly been really good this game. Shadow Step Kip coming in from Waz. It's going to deny some healing, and now they make a swap over onto Sidu. He uses his everyman for himself, Racial. Full polymorph on Chaz. Method Orange looking to reverse the pressure onto Swapsy, but the Icebound Fortitude should shut that down. I think Method Black is going to be completely fine here, but maybe not. Blinding Light onto Chaz. There's no crowd control break, and Swapsy's not able to get any heals off with that grapple weapon. Really nicely done by Trill and Samayam. Ultimate Sacrifice finally lands, and Swapsy survives, but that was a really close call.
That was a very solid push from Method Orange, committing that Icy Veins and that Touch of Death, and Chaz beautiful using the ultimate sack and wings to stabilize the team there. And now the counter pressure back on Yam, full kidney shot, smoke bomb from Waz. The Vendetta committed, beautiful Ring of Peace from Chill. They're denying the kill here. Sam in so much trouble. Sidu is stuck in that Repentance. Block has been forced here. DR sap by Waz. Waz is going to go for another sap into maybe a Garrote, into a cheap shot into kidney. Yam needs to do something immediately.
I mean, he certainly does. Look at his Ice Block cooldowns. Ice Block's not going to be available for another six minutes.
Oh my goodness.
So this is a disaster situation for Method Orange. Sidu trades out his Divine Shield, Ultimate Sacrifice, and Avenging Crusader. That's it. Method Orange has nothing left. It's going to be up to Trill to peel Swapsy and Waz, and if he cannot, Samayam's dead, 100%. So right now, Method Orange, they need to find something aggressively, or Trill really needs to prepare to be an MVP in this match.
In-cap Hodge come from Method Orange. Here's the push right here. Double leg sweep. Looks like Swapsy is the target of choice here. Do they have that disarm to deny the death strikes? It looks like not right now. Beautifully done by Chaz, able to top the team off that. Yam still under so much pressure right now. It seems really hard for them to get back on the right track here, but Trill doing a great job rotting down Swapsy and Waz here. Cooldowns from Sidu, nothing available soon except that one Blessing of Protection. No ice blocks for a long time. Currently, Swapsy is still under a lot of fire. Chaz pushing in for that Sidu, or the CC on Sidu. Yeah, in a lot of trouble here.
He's in so much trouble. Wow. He doesn't have the Temporal Shield. He's caught into a stun.
Beautifully done.
Method Black, they close it out. 3-0 over Method Orange. Complete EU domination. 9-0 on the day. And this is kind of what you would expect from Method Black.
Yeah, you know, a lot of people in chat asking what yams are. Yams are a perennial herbaceous vine cultivated for consumption of their starchy tubes in many temperate and tropical world regions. And in the NA world region, it's typically used to make comeback curry, but the only thing being served up here at the AWC finals is hot 3-0s from EU. Pika, how was Method Black able to do it yet again?
That was such a beautiful game from Method Black, able to just, anytime things got a little scary, they slowed the game down, ran back to the pillar, and were able to stabilize, and they just kept that consistent pressure on a Samayam, and eventually as that dampening starts to ramp up, it's impossible for Sidu to actually just heal through it because there's no counter pressure going out.
Jelly, was this dissonance of win condition for Paladin and Frost Mage yet again? Is that really one of the big problems that you're seeing with this composition for Method Orange?
100%. Samayam played extremely well. When counterspell after counterspell, there was even a point where they just got triple CC across with the Hodge from double leg sweep, and then look what happened. They just walked away, reset. Waz was able to stay in because he had cooldown, so he's never going to die. They just fell so far behind.
Yeah, and I do want to ask you right now, do you think Cloud9's going to be able to do it, or are we not going to see an NA team win until they play against an NA team in the lower bracket?
Oh, Cloud9's definitely going to win. I mean, NA is just a better region, right? So, I mean, it's going to happen.
It's certainly looking like it.
Yeah, definitely.
It's the warm-up games. It's the first day.
It's the warm. Yeah, that's all it is. I mean, the losers bracket is still a bracket, and it's there.
Yeah. They're just revving up for tomorrow. That's what's going on right now. The big question is, why is EU looking this good? I think throughout the year, you know, all jokes aside, we always love to have the NA versus EU thing going on. It's a lot of fun, but it looked pretty even most of this year. I really do think it looked relatively even. What's changed?
Well, I mean, to be fair, I'm pretty sure the way the spring finals ended up, it was Cloud9, so North American team, and then Europe, and then the last three teams were all North America. So maybe Cloud9 really is the only hope going up against some of these European teams, because they have been playing really well. They're playing top-tier compositions, and they really seem prepared. I mean, Method Black in particular, bringing in the Assassination Rogue Frost Death Knight, sort of picking up that Frost Death Knight, using it as a tool for themselves, and it just really shows their level of preparation.
And they're able to pick up a lot of classes, and also they have picked up the majority of the points throughout the year. Let's hear what Waz has to say.
Hey guys, I'm here with Waz. Now, you played with Swapsy on that Frost Death Knight. Tell me, what does that bring to the table for you guys?
I mean, Frost Death Knight brings, just like any other melee, a ton of roots, a ton of slows. They actually do have stun, but we're playing the Blinding Sleet instead, and it shares DR with Blinding Light and normal blind. Having Blinding Sleet is really good when they try to go offensive. We kind of just use it as like a tool to like pause the game for like 5 seconds, and then it has a lot of slows, and that's why it's so good to play Frost Decay into other melees.
Now, earlier you told us that Method Orange was going to be your most difficult matchup. What makes them such a hard team to face?
I mean, Method Orange have very good comps right now in the current meta. They're definitely our hardest team because they have such a good Windwalker DK. They have these melee cleaves. Even their Frostmage Windwalker was extremely good. But we were just extremely prepared. We've done many hours of war games, even into Windwalker Mage. So we just knew what to do in every scenario. So.
All right. Well, first series out of the bat, you just 3-0'd them. Is the rest of the day going to be pretty chill for you guys?
Yeah, I mean, every EU team so far has a dominating 3-0. I don't know what to say about that, but I hope that Change My Mind can do the same, because then it will be a good start for every European team. And yeah, I mean, now we're just gonna, we're gonna chill, but we were kind of prepared for this. Like, we're just gonna keep playing and keep practicing and try to do as well as we can.
Awesome. Well, good luck, and thank you so much. Back to the desk.
He doesn't know what to say about that. Jelly, do you have any thoughts?
Let me just say he's lucky that the move isn't there again. Just all I gotta say.
Hey, you guys made it.
Agree.
Yeah, you guys made it. You're just sitting in a different seat, right? I'm pretty sure I said the same thing to Sidu actually 2 years ago, and look what happened. He ultimately came back, and the next year he went to win BlizzCon. So this actually might be the secret to congratulations on winning BlizzCon next year. That's usually how it goes. In all seriousness, when we do take a look at this bracket, we're going to see a whole bunch of NA teams on the lower side of the bracket where they will be fighting for their lives. If you're a North American fan, Cloud9 going to be your last hope, and they are going up against Prismatic. And a very interesting thing that I think we kind of gleaned when we got to talk to all of the teams when we first got here, this team is probably in the best shape they've ever been in. They've been getting a whole bunch of war games against Method Black.
Team Prismatic right now, they're looking good. I mean, this team, when we've seen them on LAN before, 2 times they didn't have their 3rd member. Fried Kitty finally able to make it to a LAN. So this is the first time we've seen this roster with all 4 members. And I would argue that maybe their most important player, besides Minpoike playing the healer, is that Frost Mage to enable a lot of their compositions, including the Rogue Mage Druid. And they're the team that have been playing that Rogue Mage Druid since basically the beginning of this year. And if they can play that well, I think we might be seeing some Rogue Mage mirrors coming in from Cloud9.
Yeah, I think we could definitely see that. I think the funny thing is we've actually seen these guys on LAN without Fried do well. Now they actually are going to have him. This is the first time that we've seen Fried at a LAN since, was it 2005? 14? It's like a million years ago. Yeah, that would be the first year of WoW coming out. Yeah, you know, it's all coming back. But when we do look, 2014, 2015, right, around that time. So it's been a very long time for Fried to actually be here on the stage. You guys have competed. All of you guys have competed. Everybody on this desk besides me has competed at a tournament. Do you think that coming back after such a long time, he's going to have any difficulties, Pika?
I honestly think he has such a great team behind him that he'll have no problem at all just instantly jumping into the game, playing well, you know, landing those crowd controls, you know, trading out those defensive cooldowns properly, and just getting nice, solid setups. I think he'll do. I think he'll do really well, and I'm excited to see it because we've had to see Team Prismatic play a lot of just kind of weaker comps that aren't really in the meta because he hasn't been there. So now this is like, they got the team. This is it. This is their time to see what they got.
That was kind of the curse of Valet for a little while. Like, he always needed to come in and play these weird comps and try to make sure that his team was closing gaps if somebody wasn't there. But ultimately, we are going to see Prismatic at full force. And we've already seen the rest of the EU region definitely playing at full force. Are we going to see another 3-0 when we return? Or is Cloud9, the team that seems to be the best that NA has to offer, are they going to be able to come back and give a win to that region? We're going to find out after this, and we might get to find out in a Rogue Mage mirror. We're going to see all of that and more when we return.